signing up for an Oojeema account. From the website, click on the Sign Up button and fill up the online registration form. If your company's line of business is not in the list, select Others and enter your company's line of business. Click on the Proceed button. Read and agree to the terms of use. Click Next and Oojeema will send you an email for your sign-up confirmation code. If you do not see the email in your inbox, be sure to also check your spam folder. Enter the provided code. Click Continue, and wait while Oojeema finish creating your account. Click on the Proceed button to go to the sign-in screen. Log into your new account using the credentials you have entered in the registration form. Once you have logged in, Oojeema will ask you to complete your company details. Select the appropriate business type and enter the company's taxpayer details if necessary. Select the appropriate RDO code where your company is registered. Under VAT type, select the appropriate tax registration type for your company. Under the Contact Information section, complete your company's address. Under the Billing Information section, you may change the details to the contact information of the person who should be receiving billing notifications and reminders. Under the Authorized Signatory section, enter the details of the person authorized to sign the BIR forms that will be submitted to the BIR. Enter the terms and conditions to be shown in your sales and/or billing information. Once you have completed filling up the company information, click Save. Under Settings, select Chart of Accounts. You will notice that Oojeema has provided you with default set of chart of accounts. Under the Status column, there are active and locked accounts. The locked accounts are system accounts being used by Oojeema to improve convenience, automate entries, as well as report generation. You can, however, view the details of the locked account. For the other accounts, you may edit, deactivate, or delete them. Once you have created transactions that use any of these accounts, there will be a green check mark that will appear beside the account code. This means you will not be able to delete them, but you can deactivate them from future use. To add an account, simply click on the plus icon. In this demo, let's create an entry for your bank account. Enter the account code and the account name. Select the appropriate account class. Then the nature of the account if it is a normally debit or credit balanced account. For the type, since this is a child account of the cash account, select Child and specify the parent account. Specify under FS Presentation if this is a balance sheet or an income statement account. Click Save and you would have created your new account. Next step is to create your customers and vendors. Let's do the customers. The steps are the same with vendors. Go to Settings and select Customer. Click on the plus icon. Enter a customer code. This may be any coding convention that you may decide as long as it is unique to each of your customers. Oojeema will prompt you if the character you entered is not acceptable. Enter the details for your customer. For business type, select if your customer is an individual or a corporation. Click Save when you're done. After setting up the customers and vendors, let's set up the items. From Settings, select Item. Click on the plus icon to add a new item. Enter an item code. This may be any coding convention you may decide as long as it is unique to each of your items. Enter the item name and description. Select if the item type is either goods or services. You can enter the selling and purchase price if you want to use it as a default when you select this item in your transaction. You can always change the amount in the actual transaction. Oojeema will automatically suggest the accounts to use as entries when you create transactions using this item. If you prefer different accounts to be used, you can change them by selecting it from the drop-down list. Make sure you add the custom accounts in the chart of accounts maintenance to be shown in the drop-down list. Click Save to finish. We can now start recording transactions. From the sidebar, select Sales Invoice. Since this is your first time to create a sales invoice, you will be prompted to set your invoice prefix and starting number. Click Confirm and the sales invoice listing screen will be loaded. Sales invoices are used to record sale of goods. Click on the plus icon to add a new sales invoice. Select a customer from the drop-down menu. If the customer is not yet on the list, you can add a new customer on the fly by clicking on the plus icon. Fill up the customer form. Click Save and the customer will automatically be selected. In the Items section, click on the plus icon to add an item. You can also add an item on the fly from this screen. Enter the quantity and price per unit. Select the appropriate tax from the drop-down menu and click Confirm. To give your customer a discount, click on the plus icon for discount. For PWD and senior citizen discounts, enter the applicable amount and the details of the PWD or senior citizen. Click Confirm. The summary section will show you the details of the transaction, and the accounts receivable section will show you the accounting entries that will be updated in the general ledger. Click Save. To receive payment for this invoice, click on the drop-down icon beside the invoice and click Receive Payment. The details of the invoice will be shown on this screen. Add the payment by clicking on the plus icon. For payment account, select the account where you want the payment to be deposited or to be debited to. Select the payment mode. For check payments, specify the check number. If your customer is a withholding agent, click on the drop-down menu to specify the appropriate ATC, specify the applicable withholding tax base. Click Save. The status of the invoice will automatically be updated with appropriate accounting entries. A receipt voucher or RV will also be generated. Click on the receipt voucher link to preview the receipt voucher. Click on the print button to view the voucher. To see how to receive batch payments, please view a separate video on receiving batch payment in our YouTube channel. Next, let's create a billing invoice. Billing invoices are created to bill customers for services. From the billing listing screen, click on the plus icon. Select a customer from the drop-down menu. Select the tax type. In the Items section, click on the plus icon to add an item. Let's add a new service item. Enter the quantity and price per unit, and the tax details will be automatically computed based on the tax type you selected. Click Confirm. After adding the service items, you can still change the tax type and Oojeema will automatically recompute. For billing invoices, Oojeema recognizes the revenue by reference to the stage of completion of the transaction. Click Save to complete the transaction. To receive payment for this invoice, click on the drop-down icon beside the invoice and click Receive Payment. The details of the invoice will be shown on this screen. Add the payment by clicking on the plus icon. For payment account, select the account where you want the payment to be deposited or to be debited to. Select the payment mode. For check payments, specify the check number. If your customer is a withholding agent, click on the drop-down menu to specify the appropriate ATC, specify the applicable withholding tax base. Click Save. The status of the invoice will automatically be updated with appropriate accounting entries. A receipt voucher or RV will also be generated with the proper recognition of the revenue as well as the output tax, where applicable. Let's go to the Purchase module to record purchases of goods. Set up your document prefix and starting number and click on the plus icon. Select a vendor, then add an item to purchase. If your company is required to withhold taxes from your vendors, select the appropriate rate and ATC from the drop-down menu under the Withholding Tax section. Review the summary and click Save. Since you have withheld taxes, click on the drop-down icon of the transaction and click Print 2307. The BIR Form 2307 summary screen will be loaded. Scroll down the page and click the Generate button to generate the PDF document of the form. To issue payment for this purchase, click on the drop-down icon beside the purchase transaction and click Issue Payment. Add the payment by clicking on the plus icon. For the payment account, select the account where you want the payment to be paid or credited from. Select the payment mode. For check payments, specify the check number. Click Save. The status of the transaction will be updated with appropriate accounting entries. A payment voucher or PV will also be generated. Click on the payment voucher link to preview the voucher. Click on the print button to view the voucher. To record expenses, go to the expense module from the sidebar. And from the expense listing screen, click on the plus icon to add a new expense transaction. Select a vendor and click on the plus icon in the expense section. Select an expense account to be debited. Oojeema defaults the credit account to accounts payable non-trade, but you can change this to an appropriate credit account. Enter the amount and the tax type and click Confirm. Select the appropriate withholding tax rate and ATC if necessary. Click Save to complete the transaction. Let's see what reports are available in Oojeema. The reports are grouped into different sections. Under the Financial Statements section, let's first look at the General Ledger Report. In the General Ledger Report, you can filter the report by date. To filter by date, you can select which month or specify a custom date range. You can also filter to see specific accounts within the date range specified. To view the details of the transaction, you can click on any of the clickable links under the reference or voucher number column to see the actual transaction. Let's see the trial balance report. Here you can see the total debits and total credits off all the accounts within the specified period. Click on any of the clickable amounts to see a breakdown of how the account balance is computed. Once you click on the link, a window will appear to also show reference transactions. You can also click on those links to the actual transaction. Let's see the balance sheet report. From the trial balance, Oojeema generates your company's balance sheet to show you your company's total assets, liabilities, and equity. You can click on the monthly, quarterly, and yearly presentation. The yearly presentation shows your report comparative to the previous year. You can also export these reports by clicking on the export icon on each of the tabs to view them in your favorite spreadsheet. Let's see the income statement report. In the income statement report, you can view your comparative income statement report via the period tabs. You can also export this report for viewing in your spreadsheet. Oojeema also generates aging reports. For aging reports, Oojeema generates both receivable and payable aging reports. Let's look at the accounts receivable aging report. You can filter the aging report by customer and set the date to check what is outstanding receivables as of a specific date. Next, let's see the Tracking Reports section. Click on Audit Trail Report to see an audit trail of all activities made by your users. Expand the list by selecting how many lines you want to see on your screen. Run a keyword search by clicking on the search icon to search by date, user, activity, and module. For Oojeema Lite and Pro plans, you can track movement of your items by clicking on the item tracking report. The item tracking report lists all of your items categorized as goods. You can filter by period to see how many units of your items have been purchased and sold, including the amount it was purchased and sold. Under the tax reports, you can generate the different BIR reports and forms listed under this section. You can generate your books of accounts starting with the sales journal as an example. If you have applied for loose leaf filing of your books of accounts, you can generate your report by setting your date filter and exporting the results for printing. Let's move on to the other BIR forms. For BIR forms for VAT and withholding tax filings, select a BIR form to generate. Let's try the BIR Form 2550Q. Specify the correct period covering the transactions you need to file. Review the entries and enter necessary adjustments for this period. Click Generate at the bottom of the screen. Oojeema will generate a printable and downloadable BIR compliant form. You can also use Oojeema to generate the DAT files needed to submit to the BIR. For this demo, let's generate the summary list of sales or SLS. Make sure you have the correct period. Click on the Export DAT icon. Click Yes to save the exported file to your drive. The same procedure can be done for the summary list of purchases, the QAP, SAWT, and the alphabetical list of payees. Next, let's check the transaction reports. Under the transaction reports, you can generate your sales, billing, purchase, and expense reports. To manage your users, you can go to User Groups under Settings to set up different user groups. By default, Oojeema comes with 2 locked system groups. You can create your own group to manage what modules you want users under this group to have access to. Click on the plus icon to create a new group. Give your group a name and a description. Select the modules and reports you want this group to have access to. Click Save. Now let's invite a user. Under Settings, go to User. Click on the Invite User button. Enter the details of the user you want to invite. Select which group you want this user to be a part of and click Send. An email of the login instructions and user credentials will be sent to your invited user. The user may change the default password by going to the Profile section and click the plus sign opposite the Change Password label. To request support, you can send a feedback to our support team. Click Send and our support team will respond to you via email. For more video tutorials, visit our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to get notified for updates.